great man is, or the great founder theory, let's say it's like you need to have like some special unique individuals, let's say really like Satoshi Nakamoto, who came up with Bitcoin, and maybe when we zoom out, we will maybe in 100 years or something consider it on a similar kind of similar level of importance as the Reformation or something like that. It's like it's a really kind of creation of a financial internet. The crypto, of like decentralizing the ability to decentralize institutions, and like, let's say, invention of new money. It's quite big, and I mean,
Yeah.
okay, people can accuse us that we are some kind of crypto bros or something.
Hello, welcome back to Mtambo's Desk podcast. My name is Jakub Mtambo, and the following is a conversation with Jakub Simek, a co-founder of Wezesha DAO and an author of Wisdom Enterprising. In today's episode, I will be talking with Jakub Simek about his article, Helical Theory of History, under the daily Balajisms series. And now, dear friends, here is Jakub Simek. Jakub, thank you for joining me today again.
Thank you, Duke. It's always a pleasure.
So Balaji Srinivasan has a unique perspective of history, combining the theories of linear progress and cyclical theory. Can you start by summarizing Balaji's views on the combination of cyclical and linear theories of history?
Right. Balaji basically says that the progress happens on the z-axis. So if you imagine like a helix, it's like it goes in circles, but it goes up. It's like a corkscrew, So, and actually, you had Alexander Bard on the podcast, and he says something in a way similar, that humans are the constant, and what changes is the technology.
Yeah.
And Balaji has also similar take, where he says that all the ideals and ideas are with us since the dawn of humanity, since the beginning of humanity. But what changes is the technical feasibility of it. So let's say there are these ideals like freedom, equality, brotherhood of man, I don't know, and the humanity as one family. But actually what makes it possible is, for example, like us today, like talking over Zoom, still having some technical issues, but here and there. But it's like 10x or 100x better than, I don't know, than 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Like 10 years ago or so, like when we did some Skype calls between, I don't know, like around Voi, the villages in rural Kenya, and Slovak villages, like with some students and pupils like from, I don't know, Boshani and let's say Kasigao,
Yeah.
and the internet was like very, very poor, and the connection was not, I mean, it wasn't like really feasible. We did our best, but it was like very shaky. And actually, I think it's only like here during the pandemics, and this is also what Balaji talks about quite often, that since pandemics, the internet became the primary. So the digital became the primary and the physical became the secondary, and people kind of felt it like then they could work from home, they could work remotely, the Zoom calls were fine, were okay. You could even close deals, like big deals, over Zoom, and actually it was even like preferable, and you were kind of like you looked like it was actually preferable because you were like a responsible citizen, not trying to get someone sick, during COVID. So when you were like interacting over Zoom, and so this is just like an example, over like, let's say 8 years, that how the internet can improve. And you shared the article that Elon Musk's SpaceX is planning to launch Starlink in Kenya. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
this will okay. So, but okay, just like just returning to this point. So, okay. So the progress kind of happens thanks to technology. It's also thanks to technological innovations and also moral innovations. That's what Balaji says. And there are these like cyclical theories, like. Of history, something like the empire united must divide, the empire divided must sorry, the empire again, just to summarize it, the empire united must divide, the empire divided must unite, so it's like the empire united must divide, and vice versa. And yeah, I mean, and so and you have like these kind of like cyclical I don't know, memes from the left, from the right, and also the libertarian versions, and we can get into those. And then you have a linear, just like a progress. You have these like optimists talking about like how everything is improving constantly, and it's not always the case. I mean, you get like signs, so you can get some reversals. It's not like at the end of history or something that the progress is always guaranteed, but like you can go in circles, but like basically thanks to technology you go kind of up, on a z-axis. So you have these like cycles, let's say business cycles, you have recessions, you have like hard times, good times, but technology kind of allows us to do new things, and yeah, and also moral innovations, but they are kind of intertwined with technical innovations. Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at history. It almost makes it seems like never-ending cycle of growth and development. Well, what's Balaji's view on the role of technology in this cycle of progress?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, as I said, like it kind of enables I don't know, like 10x or 100x improvements in something, like on some axis, like for example, I've read in the article just like an example that with let's say with a regular bank, when you want to send like money to Kenya or from Kenya to Slovakia, let's say it takes like maybe 5 working days, and then you can use something like Wise and M-Pesa, or like sending I don't know, and it takes like maybe, let's say, couple of minutes, sometimes okay, a day or something like that. And then you can use, like, let's say, Bitcoin Lightning, where you can just download a wallet, like a Phoenix wallet, for example, on Android, and it takes like seconds, or maybe, let's say, up to a minute or something like that, up to 2 minutes, but yeah, even faster than this. And and this is like peer to peer, so you don't have like some intermediaries, so because like and it's and so this is like just like one example on transactions, like as Balaji says, like crypto is empowering both the power user and the powerless, so it's like kind of the both ends of the spectrum. But let's say normal people who just want to buy coffee, and the crypto is not ready for it. Maybe with Bitcoin Lightning actually you can do it now, but like crypto was either like too expensive or too slow or something just to buy a coffee, like for this kind of experience. But if you are living in Venezuela or in Lebanon, or if you are like a power user, want to crowdfund something globally, or want to start a DAO, or want to, I don't know, send Balaji uses this example, send like $10 to 1,000 different people who are working on some tasks, like some crypto task or something, then crypto is like perfect for this, because it's like programmable money, and it's also like Bitcoin is like digital gold and stuff like that. So this is like But then, okay, maybe you are actually asking a different question. Just a second.
Okay, so okay. Actually,
Yeah, okay, now I know. And this is the connection between like a great man, kind of great man theory of history, and something like arc, or it's like the times are ripe for this technology. So it's like the historical arc that it's kind of like makes these technologies happen. And Balaji has like kind of a way how to reconcile these two approaches. And basically, just to give an example, he says that Satoshi Nakamoto, he invented Bitcoin, and there was no Leibniz to his Newton, meaning like when there was Newton discovered calculus, and there was also Leibniz, like another guy who discovered it around the same time, you know. So, but as far as we know, like there is no one like Satoshi like inventing Bitcoin at the same time. So it's like really like this example of the great man theory of history is just like or someone says Samoburia has this concept of great founder. I think a great founder theory that's like he's like, you know, it's not a great man, it can be also a woman, you know, but it's like a that's like a official kind of, I think, name, like a great man theory of history. So it's like great founder, let's say. It's maybe better to use a great founder theory of history. And then you have the opposite approach, where you have like someone who is yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like something like the time is right for this for this it's like arc of, not arc of history, bends towards this kind of innovation. Yeah, so yeah, but it's like, okay, the arc of history, okay, theory, I guess that's maybe the name. I kind of the exact name kind of escapes me, but yeah. So do you have these approaches, but basically Balaji reconciles them with the concept of a tech tree. Is something like a scheme of where some kind of like diagram and scheme, like where some available technologies are and what else needs to be invented for this for this area or this sector, technological tech sector, to be viable, you know. So you can like kind of map, it's like a mapping of various technologies, and you can see like, okay, maybe 1,000 people are working on this problem, but there is only like a few people working on this, and this problem is not tackled at all. And you can kind of reconcile these two approaches to to technological innovations and how they happen, if it's like a great founder or if it's like an arc of history. Yeah. Just to summarize again, so the great man is, or the great founder theory, let's say it's like you need to have like some special unique individuals, let's say really like Satoshi Nakamoto, who came up with Bitcoin, and maybe when we zoom out, we will maybe in 100 years or something consider it on a similar kind of similar level of importance as the Reformation or something like that. You know, it's like it's a really kind of creation of a financial internet, you know, the crypto, of like decentralizing the ability to decentralize institutions, and like, let's say, invention of new money, you know. It's quite big, you know. And I mean,
Yeah.
okay, people can accuse us that we are some kind of crypto bros or something, you know, just like being, or Bitcoin maximalists or something, but we are not. But if you think about like let's say China developing CBDC, or like a digital yuan, and all the central bankers around the world contemplating central bank digital currencies, you know, like CBDCs, yeah. so it's like when everybody thinks about it, and it's been just like what, since 2009, right? So it's like 14 years or 13 years, something like that, since somebody posted like a white paper on some message board, and now like all the important people are like, okay, they were before they were like trashing Bitcoin or thinking, this is just a bubble. And even like last year, like a couple of
Yeah.
months ago, it's like crypto is finished.
Yeah, I was
But
actually seeing so
but
many
it's
videos also on YouTube, like crypto Ponzi scheme,
yeah,
NFT.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like crypto is finished, and like I don't know. I mean, is it finished? Like it's okay. It's like 20,000 euros is not 60,000 like per Bitcoin, but I don't know. It's a lot of money. Like it's just remembering I don't know, the Ethereum being like 6 or 8 euros or 12 euros and something. Now it's like 1,200 or something like that. And okay, it's not a financial advice. It can really go down. I mean, anything can happen in crypto. It can like really, there can be some crazy, I don't know, something like quantum decryption
yeah,
being available before quantum encryption or something like that, some crazy scenario. But even China tried hard. They banned the mining. They
yeah.
chase away. They chose chose
Just
away chasing away all the miners, and
yeah.
the Bitcoin is still here. So
Yeah, even like Elon Musk also did some ban of Bitcoin, not really ban, but also like removed Bitcoin is in his product purchasing of say Tesla because of it was consuming a lot, claiming that it was consuming a lot of energy. Yeah, but still, actually, he didn't sell though his Bitcoin, but he actually stopped payments of Bitcoin to purchase, for example, their say the cars, but still Bitcoin didn't go down.
yeah. I mean, it can get hurt like temporarily, or even like for 2 years or something, for 2 years. But it's very difficult to like destroy it or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, Elon Musk could be another example like of kind of genius, maybe not as on the level of Satoshi Nakamoto, but he's like, he definitely. He helped this electric vehicle revolution a lot. Now also with Starlink, he helped Ukraine
yeah,
a lot. He with, I don't know, with SpaceX, he kind of can, and these like reusable rockets, he's like changing the space travel and space, I don't know, tourism, and also
yeah,
like he wants to colonize Mars. Okay, so but all these are like examples of the great founder theory
yeah.
of history, or the great man theory of history, or women, it's just like just the name. And the opposite, you've got like the arc of history theory of technological innovations, where like the time is ripe to for this tech to emerge. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it could be something like 3D printing. It was like hindered by IP, by intellectual property, but once those patents were no longer like enforced, or I mean they ran out.
Mhm.
Mm. And so then you had some kind of like a small revolution in 3D, not the revolution, like small revolution in 3D printing companies. You had like all these like small startups, like, but you see, but it still kind of didn't go mainstream. But maybe it
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be mainstream. I don't know. But you had these Fab Labs,
Mhm.
various things. But yeah, but people imagined like it will be, I don't know, you could you could 3D print sneakers in your home and just like go running or something. But this future is still not here, which is sad actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you see, but 3D printing is used for rockets, for example, or something. So it's
Yeah.
like yeah, so you have these technologies, and then they enable another technologies, and Balaji reconciles it with the concept of a tech tree. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, just to.
Okay. That's a great way to look at the role of individuals in history and how they contribute to technological progress. Speaking of which, Balaji also mentions how some countries have transformed from third world to first world, such as South Korea and Singapore. What do you think has been the key to their success?
Yeah, I mean, it's not universal, but definitely it was like strong focus on education and like also technical education, and then strong focus on like expert-oriented kind of investments in the economy, and also kind of protection of their domestic market. So there wasn't really like free trade, you know, like still like Korea has some kind of duties on and tariffs on, let's say, on foreign produced cars, and they protect like small businesses or something. It's not really like a free trade per se, but it's like strong focus on pro-export policy, or you could say like mercantilism. Yeah, and actually it's like in the case of Singapore, it's like and also later China after Deng Xiaoping, it's like basically embracing capitalism and yeah, embracing like it's like the moral innovation, or the one commandment, as Balaji would call it, is basically profit is good, you know, capitalism is good. So that's like important, and you could actually see it now, like let's say if you look like South Korea versus North Korea, you know, there is like a you could see it on the map, like the South Korea, like the satellite map is like there are more lights than in North Korea, and actually people are even like shorter in North Korea, you know, it's like you know. So, and it's just like to add on this, or Balaji talks a lot about like how we don't have macro like a good theory or something of macro economy. Like we would need like a really like a crypto economy to, or various kind of economies to compare, like to do experiments like on a grand scale, like let's say of a macro economy. So because you know, it's just like difficult to, I don't know, you just can't like do these like experiments on whole countries. But actually the closest we get is something like South Korea versus North Korea, or East Germany versus West Germany, where you can basically say the communism doesn't work, you know, because you have like the same population, and you split them, let's say in half, not really in half, but you have like, you split the country, and one country embraces capitalism and the other doesn't, and the other is poor, you know, is poorer and like more desperate and something. So yeah, that's just
I think it's interesting to see how different countries have taken different parts in their progress, and how moral innovation can play a big role in that progress. Maybe lastly, Jakub, can you tell us how does technology and progress relate to the idea of God?
okay. Right. Okay. Wow. That's the God, the God. Yeah.
Yeah, God.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So it's like, yeah, you know, there is this like, there is this saying, or some sci-fi writer wrote it like, any sufficiently advanced engineering is this undistinguishable from magic, you know. So it's like, you know, like many things we considered magic or something like magical, or like it's like supernatural, you know, and then it became like a normal, like a realm of technology, like I don't know, just like calling a Uber and it arrives kind of without like, I don't know, calling a taxi, or like the stable diffusion, you know, like you write like two words and you had like some amazing picture or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just like yeah, this, you know, this is like the role of technology. Like it can it's like something that was like, it's Balaji talks about like practical miracles, you know, like you can cure let's say blindness or deafness, like with these investments in longevity, like you can have like bionic eyes. It's like it already exists, like it's not perfect. You have like various machines, like for people with hearing impairment. And I mean, and we discussed before, and we will also discuss like how these regulations or that are not smart, or they're like too heavy-handed or too slow, hinder like this whole sector of longevity. But you could have like many of these like practical examples. Let's say, I don't know, Balaji talks a lot about this experiment, which is like 15 years. It's not an experiment, but it's like, it's been like published 15 years ago, where they were doing it on mice, and there was some, I don't know the compounds or the mechanism of action. I forgot exactly, but it's basically you take something and it makes the mice look like really muscular, Yeah, you could have something like this for humans, like for over 15 years, but it wasn't approved yet, or it's just like, it's just like basically many of these technologies are here, but it's like the regulators are hindering it. So it's like this could be us, but you are regulating. It's like the meme, it's like, yeah, and so I mean, this kind of relates to like the supernaturals and stuff, but like the God with the big G, it's like the Balaji has this concept of three leviathans, and we discussed it before. I think that it's like the God, the state, and the network. So and you can have like all three, is like but it depends, like what is your identity stack actually, like what do you prefer, like are you the person of God, or are you the person of government, or are you like the person of the network, like just like being too much online, let's say, or just like just like into all these trends, online trends. No,
or you can change it right now because of the wave. You can be the God, and then the wave, and then and then the network state, because now the wave are like kind of the highlights of the people who are the group that is controlling now the people, and people are believing now in the wave, too much, So maybe the wave can replace now the government or the state.
It's the wave, the web, you mean, or
a wave, like a WEF, like a World Economic Forum.
wave. Okay, like W. Okay, but yeah, right. Okay, but they're like the institutionalists, they're actually, I mean, they just think that they're important, and actually I think they kind of secretly enjoy this kind of like people like creating all these conspiracies about them, but most of them are just like what Taleb talks, describes as empty suits. It's just like they pay like $200,000 or something to get there. It's mostly like just some company. Let's say there are some like high-ranking banker, and the company pays. The bank pays for them to attend the World Economic Forum in Davos, but like, and then they listen to all these nice speeches, let's say, like we have to save the planet and the polar bears, but like they can't really. They are not really the life players, what Samu Buria calls life players. Like you come and you just like do something completely different, like out of blue.
Okay, that's a unique and thought-provoking view of the role of technology in the world. Jakub, thank you for joining me today and sharing Balaji's view with us. It was great having this deep conversation with you.
Thank you, Duke. See you soon.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. If you enjoyed listening to Mtambo's Desk podcast, don't forget to subscribe, give this episode a thumbs up, and be sure to come back next week for another episode. Until then, this is Jakub Mtambo, and don't forget to do good always.